Hey guys, how you doing? I wanted to bring you guys a little video to sprinkle in some of the stuff that the channel has been lacking for the last month or two. Been a busy last couple of months, so obviously I'm going to try to get you guys as much content as I can. So on this video, what I want to talk about is your girlfriend's or wife's friends' influence on your relationship. So I've had this happen a couple of times where one of your girlfriend's friends that is single starts to slowly influence and eventually change the behavior of someone you're with. And I'll give you guys a couple of examples. And maybe you've experienced this. So what I'm saying is pay a lot of attention. There's a lot of attention to be paid when your significant other is hanging out with people that are doing single girl things and how that can erode the relationship you have with that person. And I'll give you a quick example. So I dated somebody for a little while that was very nerdy. Not that great looking, but I found her attractive. But in general, I'm sure a lot of people told me, hey, Alex, she's a little homely looking. Why are you with her? I'm like, I like her. So I sorry that you don't think she's attractive. I do. And one of the things I found most attractive about this woman was the fact that she was a homebody. She wasn't one to constantly want to travel and do the things that I deem not really conducive to have a good relationship with me. I understand a lot of you men like to travel, have adventures, constantly kayak, all that stuff. I don't. I live in Florida. I can go to the beach. There's really nice areas around me. If I want to kayak, it's close by. I am not looking to constantly travel the world and experience different cultures or do anything like that. So what I started to notice is when I moved to Florida, that girlfriend of mine started to make new friends. And there's nothing wrong with that. She got a new job, paid really well, and she was surrounded by other people that were around, well-paying people. So now there's a complete new universe opened up to that person that previously wasn't there before, when it was just me and her having a great time and I thought everything was hunky-dory. The moment this person started hanging out with people of, let's say, influence, and let's just say they had access to men that had a lot of money, that's when you could see that that relationship was on its way out. Namely, she hung out with a girl that was extremely attractive, tall, blonde, beautiful, probably attracted a lot of men. And once the girl I was dating hung out with her, she saw how much attention this woman was getting. And I'm sure she was catching shrapnel. The men that didn't hit it off with or weren't interested, or the girl that she was with wasn't interested in the men that were hitting on her, let's say at the bar or wherever they were hanging out at, she would catch some attention. Because let's be honest, if there's two decent looking girls at the bar, you're going to go for the better looking one. And if the better looking one says, nah, I'm not interested, you'll go for number two. That was my girlfriend. So I'm sure she was enticed and maybe attracted to the attention and wanted to maybe experience more of that. I started noticing. One thing you gentlemen have to do is really start to notice who your girlfriends hang around with. Single women want their friends to be single. No one keeps a single woman more single than their single friend. They don't want them in a relationship. They want to travel together. They want to do things together. And I started noticing that they were going out kind of often. And I said, look, I'm not going to fight this. If I look like the jealous asshole because she's hanging out with her friends, cool. If she doesn't value this relationship as much as I do, she can go do her thing and bounce on dicks and do whatever she wants. Obviously, intimacy at this point kind of stopped because trust kind of went away on my end. So one time she got invited to a all-male review. Now, what is an all-male review? You men know what an all-male review is. It's where male strippers go somewhere and basically fling their junk around and women start tugging on it and doing crazy stuff. Don't believe me? Just look up anywhere online and type in the words all male review and watch how the women act. And if you're to find, let's just say, more graphic content, you will see that the men are getting, let's just say, favors from every psycho woman that's there. It's usually 6 or so guys big junk, dancing around, and these women are just going ape and going crazy over this guy, and they're tugging on it, and sometimes mamando el bicho. Do you know what I'm saying? So she goes, I got invited to an all-male review, and I'm like, okay. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, this relationship's over. So I was like, okay, so you're gonna see dicks? Like, would you be okay if I was like, hey, I'm gonna go somewhere where guys might just fondle women and, you know, do crazy stuff? Oh, no, it's not like that. She would never take me to a place like that. I'm like, yes, she will. And of course, she came back. She was not traumatized. You could tell she was intrigued. There's a whole new world out there. There's bottomless mimosas on Sundays. There's all-male reviews. There's girl night. There's, you know, chit-chat and gossipy. And I dated this guy and I hooked up with that guy. Now she was in a group of people that lived a single lifestyle. And I said to myself, this is going nowhere. And of course, about a month later, they booked a trip to Italy. And I went, it's over. So by the time they came back, I was pretty much kind of like making the moves to go, this isn't what I want in a girlfriend. Okay, if you're hanging out with people that are influencing your relationship and you're letting them, then shame on you. Why didn't I fight it? Because you would think the person would know better, but apparently they didn't. So, based on that experience and that knowledge, I experienced something similar later on, where I started to see the telltale signs of, let's just say, the beginning of that, where a person I was with got a job. In that job, there are highly influential people that make really good money and come from, or at least are able to access higher society stuff. But as a grown-ass man, I went, here we go. Like the Joker meme, here we go. So, of course, started going out together, hanging out, staying out late, and I thought, this is not happening. Not going to do it. I'm good. I'm going to bounce from the situation before it becomes a problem. And of course, after I spoke to the person that I was dating for a little bit, the women in that group were basically putting things in her ear, like, you could do better than him. You know, he seems like a solid guy, but you could do much better. You know, just kind of eventually eroding a relationship slowly to get her single. And they succeeded. They succeeded because I wanted no part of that based on what I've already seen. Because then I'd be the asshole that says, hey, I don't want you to have girlfriends. Why would you want, why, you know, Alex is so insecure. He doesn't let women have girlfriends. No, have your girlfriends. But if you can't recognize that these single girls are doing girls' nights, mimosa nights, getting drunk, doing dumb stuff, looking for attention from men, and eventually eroding the relationship of someone that deemed to be in a decent situation, you guys got to look out for those telltale signs. So if all of a sudden, gentlemen, your girlfriend or wife is hanging out with girlfriends and having girls' night, and they're coming back home late, going to brunch, bottomless mimosa, and there is a 180 that they're doing in terms of how they're acting, do not ignore those signs. Those signs are there for a reason. It is shame on you if you ignore the signs, and if you've been through it before like I have, I cut it off before it can get really bad, because the last thing I need in a situation like that is to be seen as someone who is jealous of a girlfriend. No, I'm not jealous of a girlfriend. I'm basically saying, do you? I'm just not going to be involved. So pay attention, guys. Nobody keeps women single than their nobody keeps women more single than their single friends. All right, I'll be bringing you guys some standalone videos as much as I can, so hopefully you guys can get some That Dating Channel content. Have a great Christmas. Yes, I dropped it on Christmas because this is the time of year where you're around family and a lot of gossip goes around, so it's a nice little subject to bring up to maybe stir the pot a little bit. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you later.